This video is about the alpha's heart belonged to her, yet his beta loved her too. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. Asterisk, the alpha's heart belonged to her, yet his beta loved her too. Asterisk. Asterisk Part 1, A Night of the Full Moon. Asterisk. The silver moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting a haunting glow upon the evergreen ridge where the crescent moon packed cold home. The air was thick with anticipation, tinged with the earthy scent of pine and musk. Tonight marked the full moon, a night that stirred the primal instincts of every wolf, unleashing secrets buried deep within their souls. Amara stood on the edge of the clearing, her heart racing as she watched the pack gather beneath the ancient oak, its twisted branches reaching for the heavens. The crackling bonfire illuminated her delicate features, the glow dancing across her skin like a lover's caress. She was no ordinary Omega, her spirit burned fiercely, and she felt the eyes of the entire pack upon her. But two sets of eyes held her captive. From his position at the forefront, Alpha Kale exuded a magnetic power, his chiseled jaw set with determination. His dark hair fell just above his deep-set amber eyes, a fierce glow that mirrored the fire as flames. Every member of the pack respected him, feared him, but Amara feared none of that. She felt drawn to him in a way that transcended mere attraction. He was her destiny. Amara, Kale's voice broke through her thoughts, deep and commanding. "Join me." Her heart fluttered as she stepped forward, the weight of the moment heavy with unspoken words. Just behind Kale stood his beta, Jackson, whose eyes shimmered with a softer light. Jackson had always been her confidant, the one who made her laugh when the world felt too dark. But tonight, something unnameable crackled in the air between them. "Kale, Amara started, but her voice faltered under the weight of their gazes. "Tonight, we celebrate the bonds of our pack," Kale declared, his voice booming. "But also, we honor the bonds that tie us to one another." His eyes locked onto Amara's, a promise lingering in their depths. As the pack let out howls of unity, their voices merging with the night, Jackson stepped closer to Amara, the warmth of his presence a stark contrast to the tension swelling around her. "You okay?" he asked, his voice a soothing balm. "Just nervous," she admitted, her heart racing. "It's a big night." Jackson studied her, his gaze intense. "More than just the full moon, right? It's about what is happening between you and Kale." Amara swallowed hard, the truth of her feelings a weight that pressed against her chest. "I can't help it, Jax, T.S. Everything." "Then why do I feel like I am losing you?" Jackson's voice was low, edged with pain. "You and I have always had something special." She felt the heat rise into her cheeks. "You know it's different. You're my best friend. Best friends don't feel this way," he interrupted, his voice barely above a whisper. "I feel it, Amara. I can let you go without a fight." Before she could respond, Kale stepped forward, his commanding aura enveloping them. "Are you two done whispering, or shall we continue?" The air became thick with unspoken rivalries and longing. Kale was the alpha, strong, respected, and destined to lead. But Jackson was the heart of the pack, loyal and fiercely protective. Both were drawn to Amara, and she felt like a pawn caught between two kings. The celebration began, the pack shifting into their wolf forms, the howls echoing into the night sky. Kale led a run, powerful and graceful, while Jackson followed, his movements fluid and agile. Amara watched from the sidelines, torn between her instincts and the bond she shared with them both. "Amara," Kale called, shifting back to human form, his skin gleaming under the moonlight. "Join us, embrace who you are." With a deep breath, she stepped forward, feeling the call of the moon. The urge to shift surged within her, the familiar tug of her wolf awakening. In an instant, Amara transformed, her body becoming a magnificent creature of silver and shadow, her fur shimmering like the moon at night. She dashed into the woods, her senses heightened. Freedom coursed through her veins as she ran alongside Kale and Jackson. They were a pack, bound by more than loyalty. They were tied by blood, spirit, and now something deeper. A bond forged in the heart of the forest. But as the run continued, the tension began to simmer. Kale's wolf was powerful, his presence commanding every corner of the woods, while Jackson danced alongside him, a loyal shadow. Amara felt the pull of both, the need to be close to them, yet the weight of their unspoken rivalry hung heavy in the air. They emerged from the woods into a moonlit clearing, the ground soft with moss and wildflowers. The pack gathered, a circle of wolves with eyes glowing like embers. Kale stood before them, an embodiment of strength and authority. "We are bound by loyalty, love, and destiny," he declared, raising his head to the moon. "Tonight, we celebrate the strength of our pack and the future that awaits us." Cheers erupted from the pack, wolves howling in unison. Amara's heart swelled with pride but faltered at the thought of the inevitable. Amara. Kale beckoned, his gaze piercing. Come forward. With hesitant steps, she approached him. Jackson remained back, his eyes clouded with something unreadable. The energy crackled thick with expectation. Tonight, I want to share something sacred, Kale continued, his tone softening. You are more than just an omega, you're my mate. Gasps rippled through the pack, and Amara felt her heart skip. She was lost in his gaze, the weight of his words wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Yet, just beyond that warmth, she felt Jackson's heartache, a bittersweet reminder of the choice she never intended to make. Kale, she breathed, caught between elation and dread. Will you accept your place by my side? He asked, his voice a low rumble, reverberating through the clearing. Amara's heart raced, torn in a direction she didn't even know she was hitting. Just behind her, Jackson stepped forward, his eyes fierce. But what about me? He demanded, the pain in his voice cutting through the joyous atmosphere. Jackson, Amara whispered, her heart breaking. You know how I feel about you. And yet, he is the alpha, while I am just the beta. Jackson's voice was thick with emotion. I want to lose you without a fight, Amara. Confusion filled the air, the pack watching the three of them with bated breath. Amara felt the weight of their gaze, the pressure of choices that had never been hers to make. The moon shone above, a silent witness to the chaos of her heart. Please, Amara, Kale urged, his tone turning desperate. Don't let fear dictate your future. There? Jackson scoffed, his eyes blazing with hope. This is about love, real love. You can just choose her because it's what is expected. I choose Amara because it's who she is meant to be. Kale shot back, his alpha authority brimming. In that moment, Amara felt utterly lost. The moon shone down, illuminating the path of destiny, yet she stood at crossroads, unable to choose. I just want to find my place, she whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. As the moonlight bathed them, destiny loomed heavy, leaving an uncertain future hanging in the balance. Would love bind them together, or would the ties of loyalty and unspoken rivalry tear them apart? The night was only beginning, and the real battle for the heart of the pack had just begun. The tension in the air was palpable as Amara stood between Kale and Jackson, her heart racing like a wild stallion. The pack, a gathering of eyes filled with anticipation, watched her like a hawk ready to swoop in at the slightest hint of vulnerability. The moon's glow illuminated the clearing, casting an ethereal light that heightened the emotion swelling around them. Amara, Kale said softly, his voice a low rumble that resonated in her chest. You are my mate, you belong with me, we are destined to lead together, you know this. The weight of his words wrapped around her, pressing against her heart. She could feel the intensity of his gaze, the way it promised love and power, but just beyond that warmth was the fiery determination in Jackson's eyes. The destiny? Is it really destiny if it is built on expectation? Jackson interjected, stepping closer, his body tense like a coiled spring. Amara, you deserve a choice, not a decree. Jackson, please, she whispered, her voice trembling. She felt the tears brimming, a mixture of anguish and confusion. I never wanted this. I never wanted to hurt either of you. Kale's frustration flashed across his features. You think I want to force you into anything? When I look at you, I see strength. I see a future worth fighting for. A future built on fear and obligation? Jackson retorted, his voice rising. Amara, you deserve more than just a title of Alpha's mate. You deserve to love freely. Enough. Kale bellowed, the raw power of his alpha voice echoing through the clearing. The pack fell silent, but the tension thickened like fog in the night. This is not the time for division. We are a family. We stand together or we fall apart. Is this what it means to be family? Jackson shot back, his eyes dark with pain. They be forced into roles that suffocate your spirit? Amara's heart ached for Jackson, for the anguish that twisted his features. She turned to Kale, who stood like a mountain, unyielding and proud. What if I don't want to choose at all? What if I want both of you? Both? Kale echoed, disbelief mingling with rage in his voice. You can have both, Amara. It is not how it works. Watch me, she replied, her voice a whisper yet defiant. I refuse to be a pawn in this game of power. I want to forge my own path. Jackson stepped closer, his warmth enveloping her like a comforting blanket. That is the Amara I know, the one who isn't afraid to fight for what she wants. The pack stirred, whispers rippling like the wind through the trees. Amara felt their uncertainty, their confusion mirroring her own. What do I do? She asked, her voice breaking. I don't want to hurt anyone. Your heart knows the answer, Kale said, his voice softer now as though he was trying to reach through the chaos. Follow it. Jackson nodded. Listen to your instincts, Amara, they will guide you, but know this, I will always fight for you for your right to choose. The air crackled with electricity, and Amara felt the bonds of fate tightening around her, a web woven with love, loyalty, and longing. But as she gazed at both men, each representing a different aspect of her life, her heart quaked. Then let me find my way, she declared, her voice steadier. I don't want to rush into anything, I want to explore what is between us, all of us. Hale looked at her, the fire in his eyes simmering to a flame of understanding. You want time? Yes, Amara replied, heart racing with hope. To understand myself, to understand you both. Time is a luxury we don't have, Gale said, his voice laced with reluctance. The pack needs unity and strength, they rely on us. Then let us show them strength through our honesty, Jackson interjected. If we are going to lead, let us do it together, not as rivals but as brothers. Together? Gale's brow furrowed, a mixture of skepticism and intrigue dancing in his amber gaze. Yes, Jackson insisted, a fire igniting in his spirit. We both care for her. The pack deserves to see us unite, not divide. Let her make her choice, let her feel what it means to belong to both of us. Amara's heart raised at the thought of a united front, but doubt crept within. But what if I can teach yous? What if I hurt you both in the end? Then we'll face that together, Jackson assured her, stepping closer. I want to let you bear that burden alone. Kale's expression softened, and for a moment vulnerability flickered in his eyes. I'll protect her, Jackson, but I need you to trust me. I trust you because of her, Jackson replied, the fierceness in his tone a testament to their bond. And perhaps we can discover something greater than rivalry, something that can unite us all. Amara felt the shadows of doubt begin to dissipate as she looked between the two men. Could love be forged from this tangled web of loyalty, rivalry, and destiny? Then let us do it, let us explore this path together. A howl erupted from the pack, a sound of approval and unity. The night air shimmered with possibility, and as the stars twinkled above, Amara felt the weight of the moonlight pressing down on her, a reminder of the choices yet to come. As they stepped away from the clearing, a deeper understanding of their connection began to bloom within her. Yet, just as hope ignited, a shadow of uncertainty lingered. Days turned into weeks, and Amara found herself lost between the two worlds. At dawn, she trained with Kale, pushing her limits, embracing her inner strength. At dusk, she laughed with Jackson, their bond growing deeper with every shared secret and stolen moment. But the pack was restless, murmurs of dissent echoing through the trees. Kale felt the pressure building, the weight of leadership heavy on his shoulders. They want to see results, Amara, he admitted one evening, his voice laced with frustration. Our unity has to be more than just words. I know, she replied, looking at him with concern. But I can feel their uncertainty. They need to see us to feel the bond we were trying to forge. Then let us show them, Kale urged, determination surging within him. We'll lead a run, a display of our unity. A run? Amara blinked, the idea hitting her with unexpected excitement. Together? Yes, Kale said, his eyes blazing with passion. We'll lead them into the woods, show them that our strength lies in our unity together. Then let us do it, Jackson chimed in, his excitement infectious. Let us show them what it means to lead as a pack, as one. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they rallied the pack, the energy in the air electric with anticipation. Amara felt a spark of something powerful building as they stood side by side, Kale and Jackson, two fierce wolves ready to lead. Tonight, we run. Kale bellowed, his voice filled with raw authority. Together as one. The pack erupted in howls, the sound echoing through the trees like a symphony of strength. Amara's heart soared as she transformed, her spirit intertwining with the wolves around her. In that moment, she wasn't just an omega caught in a whirlwind of emotions. She was a force, a part of something larger than herself. As they took off into the night, the forest erupted in a flurry of fur and freedom. Amara ran alongside Kale, his powerful form commanding the space ahead, while Jackson danced beside her, his laughter echoing through the trees. But amid the exhilaration, Amara felt the heartbeat of uncertainty. Could they truly forge a bond strong enough to hold the pack together? And what of the emotions simmering beneath the surface? As they raced through the woods, the moon casting a silver sheen upon them, Amara knew this was only the beginning. Ahead lay the unknown, a path fraught with challenges, but also filled with the promise of love and unity. And deep inside, she felt her heart whisper maybe, just maybe, it was in this shared journey that they could discover the true meaning of family. Together. Asterisk. The alpha S heart belonged to her, yet his beta loved her too. Asterisk. Asterisk Part 3. The shadows of betrayal. Asterisk. The crisp night air was filled with a palpable excitement as the crescent moon pack raced through the familiar woods, their howls harmonizing with the rustling leaves. Amara felt a sense of belonging, a connection with her pack. Yet, as they ran, her heart was a battlefield, torn between the two fierce wolves who ran beside her, Kale, the unstoppable alpha, and Jackson, the unwavering beta. As they reached the clearing, moonlight poured in, illuminating the space with a silvery glow. Kale stopped to catch his breath, his powerful form silhouetted against the shimmering backdrop. "Look at them," he said, nodding toward the pack, who were now gathering behind them, tails wagging and eyes gleaming with anticipation. "They were hungry for unity. We need to give it to them." "Unity?" "Yes," Jackson agreed, his voice steady, but Amara caught the undercurrent of tension. "But it has to be genuine. It can't just be a show." Kale's eyes narrowed, frustration flickering in their depths. "It will be genuine, Jackson, but we need to act fast before uncertainty takes root and divides us." Amara stepped closer, her heart aching for both of them. "We can do this together. Let us lead them as one, not just as Alpha and Beta, but as a family." Kale reached out and squeezed her shoulder. "You were right. We'll show them our bond. They need to see that we're in this together." Jackson's gaze softened as he looked at Amara, a quiet bond shimmering between them. "Yes, let us show them the strength of our love, Amara. Show them that family is built on trust, not just titles." The pack waited expectantly, a wave of fervent anticipation. Amara's heart raced as she stood before them, caught between two worlds. "Are you ready?" she called out, her voice carrying through the clearing. "Tonight, we run not just as individuals, but as one together." The pack erupted into howls, a harmonious symphony that filled the night. Amara felt the thrill of the chase surge within her as they shifted into their wolf forms once more. She ran beside Kale, feeling the power of his presence, while Jackson kept pace on her other side, his playful energy igniting her spirit. But as they tore through the woods, a shadow lingered in the back of Amara's mind, a whisper of doubt, a nagging thought that they weren't as united as they pretended to be. The forest echoed with their footsteps, yet her heart thudded with uncertainty. As they reached the edge of the river, a stillness enveloped them. The moonlight danced upon the water, casting a magical glow. Hale raised his head, letting out a howl that resonated with authority, calling the pack to gather around him. "Tonight we unite," Hale proclaimed, his voice strong and commanding. "No more whispers of dissent. We are a family, and together we will face whatever challenges lie ahead." The pack erupted in agreement, howls piercing the night, yet Amara noticed the tension in Jackson's posture as he stood beside her, a flicker of worry in his eyes. "It is a good start," she whispered, trying to soothe him. "But we need to show them more than just words." "Agreed," Jackson replied, his voice low. "We need to prove that our bond is unbreakable." The night wore on, laughter and camaraderie filling the air. Amara felt a sense of joy, yet the shadows of doubt never fully dissipated. The bond she shared with Jackson felt deeper, richer, yet it was Kale's fierce loyalty that ignited her spirit. Days passed, and the pack trained harder than ever, their unity growing stronger. Yet, amidst the camaraderie, unseen fractures began to form. Whispers of dissent echoed among the pack, doubts creeping into Kellen's heart, the elder among them. "Can we trust them?" he muttered to others behind closed doors. "What if this is a power play?" Amara overheard the murmurs, her heart sinking as she recognized the cracks forming in their newfound unity. Tension was palpable, and she knew she had to act before their fragile alliance crumbled. One evening, Amara sought out Kale. She found him atop a rocky outcrop, gazing into the distance, a furrow etched upon his brow. "Kale," she said softly, stepping closer. "We need to address the murmurs. The pack is restless." His amber eyes flickered with concern. "I know. I can feel it. They're scared. They sense the uncertainty in the air. I need to show them strength, but I don't know how." "Maybe we could hold a gathering, a meeting of sorts," Amara suggested. "We could encourage them to voice their concerns, show them transparency." Kale sighed, running a hand through his dark hair. "You were right. They need to feel heard. I don't want them to see my doubt as weakness." "A leader's strength lies in vulnerability, Kale," she assured him, her heart swelling with admiration. "You must show them that you care, that we care." He nodded, determination igniting in his gaze. "Then let us do it. A gathering it is." As they prepared for the meeting, Amara felt a warmth settle in her chest, a sense of hope blooming amidst the uncertainty. Yet, deep down, a sense of dread lingered. What if revealing their vulnerabilities only tore the pack further apart? The night of the gathering arrived, and Amara stood by Kayla's side, her heart pounding as the pack assembled in the clearing. Jackson stood beside her, a reassuring presence amidst the swelling anxiety. "Tonight, we gather as one," Kale began, his voice steady but tinged with apprehension. "I know there are uncertainties and fears, but I want us to face them together." The pack murmured, eyes flickering between Kale and Amara. "We need to know if we can trust you," Kellen called out, his voice gruff. "How can we be sure this isn't just a show?" Kale's jaw tightened, but Amara felt the strength of his resolve. "Trust is earned, not given. I am willing to be vulnerable, to show you my heart, but I need you to be honest with me as well." Jackson stepped forward, his gaze steady. "We're here to listen. If you have doubts or fears, voice them. We're stronger together." The tension in the air shifted, a palpable energy igniting as the pack began to speak. One by one, they voiced their concerns, their worries echoing in the still night. Amara listened intently, her heart aching for the vulnerability they shared. But then, Kellen stepped forward, his voice filled with an unsettling edge. "And what if the spine is built on lies? What if you were just using Amara to solidify your power?" Silence fell like a heavy cloak, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Amara felt her heart lurch, the accusations piercing through her. "That's not true," she protested, stepping closer to Kale. "Kale cares for me, and I—" "Do you, Amara?" Kellen interrupted, his gaze unwavering. "Or are you just a means to an end?" The accusations cut deeper than any blade, leaving Amara feeling exposed and vulnerable. She looked at Kale, who stood with clenched fists, his jaw tight with barely restrained rage. "That's enough," Kale bellowed, his voice echoing through the clearing. "You will not speak of her that way. See, he is protecting you." Kellen shot back, anger simmering just below the surface. "But what if it is only for appearances?" The tension reached a boiling point, and Amara felt herself trembling as chaos began to unfurl. "No, we can't let this divide us," she cried. "We're stronger as one. We can't afford to let fear tear us apart." Jackson stepped forward, his expression fierce. "We need to trust one another. We need to let go of the past and not let it dictate our future." But Kellen shook his head, the seeds of doubt taking root. "You may think you were united, but the moment the moon wanes, so will your bond. I will not be a part of a pack led by a puppet and an omega." Silence descended, heavy with the weight of betrayal. Amara's heart chattered as she turned to Kale. He stood frozen, the pain radiating from him like a palpable force. "Kellen, please," she implored. "You have to see it as more than that. We're here for each other." Kellen's expression hardened, and he turned away, shadows of dissent already swirling amongst the pack. "You will see. One day, you will understand." As Kellen walked away, a wave of despair washed over Amara. "What do we do now?" she whispered, feeling the shadows of doubt envelop her. Kale's eyes darkened, his frustration simmering beneath the surface. "We fight for our pack. We show them that loyalty is earned through love." ***, the Alpha's heart belonged to her, yet his beta loved her too. ***, Part 4, the fractured bonds. The chill of the night hung heavy in the air, the weight of Kellen's betrayal lingering like a dark cloud over the crescent moonpack. Amara stood amidst the whispering trees, her heart racing, each beat echoing the uncertainty that twisted like a knife in her gut. Kale stood at the edge of the clearing, his face a mask of rage and hurt, while Jackson remained close, his presence a soothing balm against the storm brewing within her. Kellen's words were uncalled for. Kale finally broke the heavy silence, his voice taut with suppressed fury. "We'll show him he is wrong." "Kale," Amara said, her voice trembling with desperation. Hurling accusations back and forth want to heal the wounds. We need to find a way to connect, not divide. "Connect?" Kale shot back, his amber eyes blazing with unresolved anger. "You heard what he said. He believes I am using you. He questions your worth to the pack." "Because he is afraid," Jackson interjected, stepping closer to Kale, his eyes filled with understanding. "Fear breeds distrust, and distrust can tear a pack apart. We have to show them the truth of our bonds." Amara's heart ached at the thought of losing what they had built. "We can't let Kellen's words dictate our future. We need to unite, not just for ourselves, but for every member of our pack." Kale sighed heavily, running a hand through his hair as if trying to brush away the weight of responsibility. "But how do we convince them? Kellen's words have sown seeds of doubt. They need to see our bond in action." "Let us hold another gathering," Jackson suggested, his gaze steady and determined. "One where we invite everyone to share their thoughts. We need to show them that our connection is real, that it transcends titles and positions." Kale nodded slowly, the fierceness of his presence calming as he considered the idea. You're right, if we want to lead, we have to be transparent, but this time I want to hold back. I'll share my heart. A flicker of hope ignited within Amara's chest. Then let us prepare. We'll show them the strength of our love, and maybe, just maybe, they will start to believe in us again. As the moon rose higher in the night sky, illuminating the clearing with its silvery glow, Amara felt a surge of determination. She would fight for their pack, for the bonds they shared, no matter the cost. The day of the gathering dawned clear and bright, the sun's rays piercing through the trees like golden arrows. Amara stood beside Cale and Jackson, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and dread. The pack began to gather, their expressions a curious blend of hope and skepticism. Cale stood tall before them, his presence commanding as he addressed the pack. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady yet tinged with vulnerability. "I know there are questions, doubts, fears, but I want to lay bare my heart before you." Amara felt her breath hitch as Cale continued. "I chose Amara not as a means to an end, but because she is my mate. She is strong, fierce, and the one I believe can help lead us into a brighter future." The pack murmured, exchanging glances, and Amara felt the tide of uncertainty begin to shift. "I won't deny that this bond has come with its challenges," Cale pressed on, his eyes sweeping over the gathered wolves. "And I know that my actions must be backed by trust, not just words." Jackson stepped forward, his voice calm and reassuring. "We stand here not just as Alpha and Beta, but as a family. Amara and I share a bond too, one that is built on friendship and love. Together, we are stronger than ever. We're here to assure you that loyalty lies at the heart of our pack." His words hung in the air like a lifeline, and Amara felt the warmth of their shared connection envelop her like a comforting embrace. "You are all more than just members of the Crescent Moon Pack," she spoke, her voice steady as she stepped forward. "You are my family. I want to protect you, honor you, and fight for you, just as you fight for me." A sense of unity began to ripple through the pack as murmurs of agreement began to grow. "Let us share our fears, our hopes," Amara urged, her heart racing. "Let us strengthen the ties that bind us together." Talon stood at the back, his expression grim. "And what if this unity is just a fighter? How do we know you want to betray us?" The doubts echoed in the air, piercing through the fragile atmosphere they had tried to create. Amara's heart sank, but she refused to back down. "You question our bond, but I assure you, it is real. What I feel for Cale and Jackson is not bound by rank or title, it is genuine love." Her voice trembled, but she held her head high, feeling the weight of their gazes upon her. "I will not let fear define us." Cale stepped forward, a fierce determination igniting in his eyes. "We are here to forge our own path, to create a pack that stands together in the face of adversity. I will protect Amara and all of you with my life, but we need your trust to move forward." The murmurs of dissent began to fade, replaced by whispers of hope as members of the pack stepped forward, sharing their own fears and aspirations. Amara felt the bonds of their community strengthen, intertwining like threads in a tapestry. As the gathering continued, the atmosphere shifted, and the pack began to unite, their hearts beating as one. Laughter began to fill the clearing, the sound cascading like a waterfall, washing away the shadows that had lingered for too long. But as the night wore on, a chill crept into the air, an unsettling reminder that shadows of betrayal still lurked in the corners. Amara caught sight of Cullen, who watched with a brooding intensity, his expression unreadable. A sense of foreboding washed over her, but she pushed it aside, focusing on the warmth of the shared laughter around her. Days turned into weeks, and though the pack had begun to heal, Amara couldn't shake the feeling of unease. The bond they had forged was fragile, and Cullen's lingering doubts haunted her. One evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, she found herself wandering the forest alone, seeking solace among the trees. The sounds of the pack churning faded into the distance as she lost herself in thought, the moonlight casting long shadows around her. "Amara," a voice broke through the silence, pulling her from her reverie. She turned to find Jackson approaching, his expression laced with concern. "You've been distant lately." I feel like we were walking on a tightrope, one wrong move, and it could all come crashing down." Her voice trembled, and she felt the weight of her worries pressing down on her. Jackson stepped closer, his warmth radiating through the cool night air. "You are not alone in this. We are all in it together. Cale and I are here for you, no matter what." "But what if Cullen's doubts fester? What if he becomes a threat?" Amara's voice cracked, the fear bubbling to the surface. "I can't lose what we've built. I can't lose either of you." "Then we'll fight for it," Jackson said firmly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You are stronger than you realize, Amara, and so are we. We want to let fear dictate our future. We'll face it together." She looked into his eyes, feeling the warmth of his conviction seep into her bones. You're right, I can let fear take hold, but what if it is not just Kellen? What if there are darker forces at play? Jackson's expression hardened, and he stepped back, the weight of her words sinking in. You think there is more a threat beyond Kellen? Ivy heard whispers, echoes in the wind. Something isn't right, she confessed, her heart racing. I feel it in my bones. Then we need to investigate, Jackson replied, determination igniting in his gaze. We'll find the truth, whatever it may be, together. As they made their way back to the clearing, Amara's heart raced with a newfound sense of purpose. She would protect her pack, her family, and the bond they had forged. But she also understood that darkness could lurk in the most unexpected places. The days turned into a blur of tension as Amara, Kale, and Jackson began to piece together the unsettling puzzle. Whispers of a rogue pack, lingering shadows, and hints of betrayal filled their discussions as they strategized how to keep their pack safe. One evening, as they stood beneath the ancient oak, the weight of the world pressing down upon them, Kale's eyes flickered with determination. We need to confront Kellen to understand where his loyalties lie. We can't let this divide us any further. Jackson nodded, his expression fierce.